All right. Hello, this is Tony. Duh, like you didn't know that, right? So, what I would like to share with you is something that I've been working on and something that I need some help from you on. What this is my effort to try to pull together a lot of information from a variety of different sources about managing our seminars and making sure that we've identified, everything that needs to be done, who it needs to be done by, and presented it in a way that's going to be easier for us to work with, update as we identify better ways of doing things, and be as flexible as it can possibly be. So the idea here is this. I've got a spreadsheet. This is actually something that was created by Kathleen Murray back when she was the vice president back in 2015, 2016. And in doodling around the share drive and looking at all of the different things that have been created since then, this looked like the best place to start. And so that's what I've chosen to do. And I've made a few enhancements to it. So one of the enhancements is what you're seeing right now. This is the kind of the beginning page of it is the event information. And the idea would be that we would have the spreadsheet as kind of a generic thing. We would make a copy of it, come here, and then we would personalize it for a particular seminar. The one that I'm working with right now is the spring seminar for Tom Jones. So when you populate the date in here, as you're going to see, that date gets populated across all these other tabs where we have information recorded. We would also record, who's the speaker, whether they're going to be here or be virtual, identify where the meeting rooms are, and then as you can see here, there's kind of a status thing. And I've been working, Barbara, primarily on the things that I'm associating with you. And that's why you see some percentages here. Sharon haven't got around to yours yet, but I wanted to at least get the concept down and I wanted to get some feedback from you and then perhaps set up a meeting where we can talk about some of these things. What Kathleen did is she broke this thing up into different pieces. So you'll see there's tabs here for management, tools, collaterals, promotion, speaker, syllabus and evaluation, food, event, prizes, volunteers, and then I've added the tech team. And I'm going to start there because that's the area I'm most familiar with. And so I could kind of flesh that out a bit and kind of fully implement this the way that I see that it working. And then we'll come back and talk about the other things. So let's go take a look at that. What each of these tabs has is just basically a list where you identify the activity description, and that's just the things that need to be done. And the idea would be that we would list these things in the order in which they are actually done. Now over here, again, because I filled out that April 13th, 2024 date, that fills in the event date here for me, and the spreadsheet automatically starts calculating prior weeks. So week minus one, week minus two, all the way back here to week minus 13. Because I have some granularity in my stuff that happens the day before and 3 days before, and then even after the event, I've added these columns. But again, all these dates get automatically populated simply by filling in that one date on the event information sheet. So again, that's how this becomes kind of a generic thing. You take the blank thing, fill in the dates by the other information, and right away you've got a lot of information to start with. What I've done is for each event that I've identified, I've gone over here in the timeline and just put an X in the week of when I think this event needs to be done. Not hugely granular, but it gives us kind of a pretty good idea that, hey, these are the things that we need to be doing about 12 weeks out. And then you can see as we get closer to the event date, there's more and more things that happen until we finally have a series of key things on the day of the event. And then I've even got some things that are identified after the event as well, in the recordings page and stuff like that. What I'm envisioning allowing us to do with this is to be able to try to make it easier by having some area coordinators help us out doing things. So, for example, for the tech team area, I'm indicating for this one that I'm the area coordinator. So that's the indication to Barbara or Sharon, whoever's looking at this, that hey, me, Tony, is the person responsible for getting this stuff done, and my email address, my phone number. I've also got some things down here that calculate some automatic stats for us. And so it's showing here that as we go forward each week, you can see the percentage of completion that we would expect to be at. There's several weeks here where nothing happens, and then it starts getting busier towards the end of the event until here by the end of the week, this represents 100% of all the tasks that need to be done. There's a column in here called the date completed, and the idea would be that as you complete something, so for example, if I did this today, I'd put, all right, oops, that one's done, so on down the line. And you'll see that down here at the bottom, it starts calculating my percentage of progress. And that gets brought back over into this summary sheet. So again, from a management perspective, which is part of what I want to try to build in here, I can very quickly look at this and say, okay, well, we're making progress on the tech team stuff. Barbara, you need to get busy. Just kidding, of course. But the idea would be here that we would build it in such a way that we have this kind of built-in feedback mechanism so that as we are progressing for the event, as we have the board meetings, we can very quickly look at where things stand. And if we start seeing some things that are concerning, then we can, focus in and see what's going on. The other thing that I've anticipated doing in here too is that for each of the types of tasks or each of the tasks that we have, I've made it possible to link documentation. So for example, you can see this activity is create the meeting event in Neon. I can go over here and click this link, and it would take me right to the document that I've created. And here's the detailed information about what I need to do when it comes to adding this information into Neon. And again, these links don't change. They come carry forward every time we duplicate the spreadsheet. So this gives us a way to create a very detailed list, provide documentation where it's necessary, and hopefully be able to segment this stuff out. Again, I mentioned that the idea that we can have an area coordinator. We can divide it down even further and have for each event you can have a responsible party. So this could be, Todd Dedecker is responsible for that particular thing, and Todd would have a place to go to say, well, how the heck do I do that? Here's the documentation. And so the plan is to kind of flesh out each one of these tabs with a comprehensive list of things to be done and with an indication of when they need to be done with any links to any documentation that we care to create. So for the volunteer area, that's kind of simple. We've identified for a seminar, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 7 areas that we need and the number of people that we think that we need for each of those things. And we think along about, at least when I did this, I thought, well, seems to me 4 weeks out is be a pretty good time to do that. And I've got some duplicates here, but you get the idea. What I need from you two is help going through each of these tabs and trying to make sure that we've got all of the activities identified that we need to identify, and that we identify the appropriate time frame for how far in advance we need to get these things done. So again, here's something about trying to get some prizes, or trying to get some things for our drawings for the event itself. Barbara, you see this looks pretty familiar. I've tried to take the information in the form that you had created and incorporate as much of that into here as I can. You can see I've taken a stab at trying to create some dates here, but again, this is where I need your help. We're operating at kind of a disadvantage here because none of us have really been deeply involved in running seminars before, and I'm just kind of skating on the edge of my knowledge about this, and I'm hoping that you guys are going to be able to fill in for me. Here's a tab about what we need to do for the food. And again, you can see all the stuff is built in there, just a matter of filling stuff in. Syllabus and evaluation. I'm thinking that the syllabus is probably something I'm going to throw over into the vice president's area. So, Barbara, you probably won't need to be too concerned about that. But again, that's something we discussed, whether that belongs there or not. That's, again, another area that I need some help from you two. Speaker. So the things that we need to do in relation to managing the speaker, things we want to do about promotion, and you can see this is pretty much a blank screen right now. Any collaterals that we need to have, press releases, brochures, stuff like that gets managed over, and that's what the VP is for, Sharon. I'm thinking these are going to be in your area. Tools, just setting up the area on the shared drive and creating the folder and things like that. The initial planning steps, identifying, setting the price of the seminars and some things, identifying some marketing dates and what have you. So I thought this would be a lot easier to show to you than it would in terms of just trying to fold all this in email. So I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up on what's coming your way. I will send this to you with a link so you can actually look at the spreadsheet yourself. It is on the shared drive and perfectly viewable for you. But I'd just like you to think about it and be thinking about how well you think this is going to work for us, and to get your feedback. Because we're coming up, April 13th is going to be here before we know it. So I thought I really needed to get something in place so that we have something to work from. And this is something that I'm proposing. So take a look at it and think about it for a while, and then let me know what you think about what I've got. So anyway, hope you're doing well, and we'll talk about setting up a meeting to get together to talk about this soon. Thanks.